In this warm-up, we again are going to be using our proportions, but this time we're not only going to be using percents, but fractions as well. And we're going to figure out what those fractions really mean when we talk about percents. We have 360 students in 7th grade. 2/3 of them order lunch in the caf. Of those students, 70% of them love the pizza. And then our final question is, how many of them do not like the school pizza? So, our first thing to figure out is what does 2/3 really mean? We're talking about these students. So what we're saying is that 2 out of every 3 order lunch, right? So that means the words that we're going to be writing, or what we're comparing, is order lunch over 7th graders. And of course, as always, we have our known and our unknown. As we've already talked about, we have 2 of every 3. 2 of every 3 order lunch. So 2 people order lunch for every 3 7th graders. And then we go back to, we have 360 students in 7th grade, so that goes here under 7th graders. 360, the thing we don't know is how many of them order lunch. Whoops, that should be in X, not 0. Okay, and now we know we need to cross multiply. As always, the process is always the same. We've got 3 times X equals 2 times 360. 3X equals 2 times 360. Again, I always use my calculator, even though this is a relatively simple one. So 3x equals 720. I know that I'm going to divide both of these by 3. These cancel, and x is going to equal 240 students that order lunch in the cafeteria. So I know that that is what I need to take with me. And go on to our next page. Of those students that order from the cafeteria, 70% of them love the pizza. 70% of them love the pizza. What does that 70% mean? Remember, that means 70 out of 100, right? So 70 of them love the pizza. So we've got pizza lovers. And of course, let's not forget that's in the cafeteria. And we're comparing that to those that eat in the cafeteria or order lunch. And as always, we've got our known and our unknown. In this case, we've already discussed, we've got 70 out of 100 that love the pizza. So that's 70 that we know out of 100 people that eat in the cafeteria. And that's of the students that order lunch from the cafeteria. And in the previous page, we found that 240 of them order lunch. So therefore, the thing that we don't know becomes our X. As always, I'm going to be cross-multiplying. So I've got 100 times X equals 70 times 240. That's 100X equals 70 times 240 is 16,800. I'm going to divide both of those by 100. These cancel. I'm left with x equals 168 students that love the school pizza. Now, if you're not careful, you might put down that 168 as your answer, but you need to consider that the question says, how many do not like the school pizza? So I need to go back to my original number of 360 seventh graders. And of those, I found out that 168 of them love the school pizza. So of course, to figure out how many of them do not, I'm going to take those two numbers and I'm going to subtract 360 minus 168, and that would give me 192 students, 192 seventh graders, I should say, do not like the school pizza. And there you have it. We've used our proportion, using that fraction, figuring out what a fraction means, and then again for our percent.